We begin tonight with Your Voice, Your Vote, in just 40 days away from Election Day. And as we get closer to the big day, we're discussing top issues with candidates for our local U.S. congressional seat. Thank you for joining us. I'm Matt Templeman. Now, one of the biggest issues this election is immigration and the southern border. In our team coverage tonight, we have both Jennifer Singh and Julio Mora Rodriguez live in the studio. Jennifer will have more on Congresswoman Val Hoyle's views on the border situation. But first, we head over to Julio Mora Rodriguez, who spoke with her opponent, Republican Monique DeSpain, who recently returned from a trip to Arizona to see the situation at the border for herself. Julio?
Matt, Monique DeSpain says she wanted to go to the border after hearing from constituents about their fears about illegal immigration affecting Oregon's public safety. She also says she read congressional reports about the border and the strains agencies down there are being put under. DeSpain says the border is an issue of national sovereignty. She told me she saw the border fence up close and was told about the holes in the fencing that migrants are allegedly using to enter the country. She says she also spoke with Yuma, Arizona officials who told her about the strain migration is having on infrastructure such as food banks and the hospitals. But she says what really concerned her was the effects it has on Oregon. She says it's no secret Oregon and Lane County have been struggling with a drug and homeless crisis of its own over the last few years.
You know, one problem with the issues we're having in Eugene, for example, the homelessness, the addiction, and the mental health problems that are causing the increase in crime and just humans in distress in our neighborhoods, is we don't know where they're from because the law does not permit law enforcement to ask that question. You know, certainly I've talked to sheriffs and district attorneys and they say that they're not from Eugene, they're not from Oregon. I don't know the status, and that's a problem.
DeSpain says she was also taken to the California section of the border. She also spoke to me about how she says, according to Arizona officials, 51% of all the fentanyl coming into the country is going through the southern border in Arizona. Now, coming up in the 5 o'clock newscast, the issue of immigration has been discussed for years and has led to polarization. I asked candidate DeSpain how she plans to balance both a strong border policy while also respecting existing immigrant communities in Oregon and around the nation. Reporting live in studio, Julio Mora Rodriguez, KEZI 9 News.
All right, Julio, our team coverage now continues with Jennifer Singh. She has incumbent Congresswoman Val Hoyle's take on the border situation. And Jennifer, this is something Hoyle is passionate about as well, correct?
Yeah, Matt, that's right. Today, Representative Val Hoyle tells us the border issue is also critical for national security. She says as a second-generation American herself and someone who is married to an immigrant, the issue at hand is more so how outdated the immigration system is. Hoyle says the issue of a stronger border policy has become so polarized, but the fact of the matter is, she says there's just not enough resources going down to help with those working the border. She calls immigration the foundation of this country and who we are as Americans. But we need better control when it comes to being knowledgeable about not just who, but what is coming into the country. Also citing the flow of fentanyl through the border that makes its way through people with who are sometimes legally entering the U.S. She tells us she's been down to the southern border herself before, and the issues are obvious.
And I've been down to the border, and those Border Patrol agents need more investment. They need more agents. They need more equipment. They're working with equipment that's 10 years old, and it is utterly, totally inadequate.
She says she will continue to push immigration reform and border control onto the legislative floor. She also says with a workforce shortage, better border control could strengthen the economy by allowing people seeking the traditional American dream to do so with updated visa programs and amnesty rules. Now, like Julio and I said, immigration has become an extremely polarized issue. And coming up at 5, I'll show you why she says it's important to remember a strong border policy does not mean you have to take an anti-immigration stance in the U.S. Live in the studio, Jennifer Singh, KEZI 9 News.